situation in Nigeria has sparked widespread discontent, with citizens expressing their grievances through protests. In contrast to the widespread protests across Nigeria, Yola, the Adamawa state capital, remained calm and peaceful, with business premises including banks and government offices open for business. Majority of the people had decided to remain calm and refused to join the protest, except for a few who went out to either register their support or kick against the protest.
We are protesting against the insecurity. We are hungry. Then the government should bring back our fuel subsidy. As you can see, everywhere in this country, we are hungry. Everybody is hunger. And as you can see, all the youths in this country, we are suffering in terms of our unemployment and also in terms of education.
And not after violence. Yes. Please, nobody violence helps.
We have seen one.
After destruction of everything, it's still told on us. Exactly. Please, no vandalization of government property, no vandalization of private property, no killing of lives. Please, you cannot create one. And please, we have to guide national assets and state assets with our own lives. Please, we are not after violence. Please, and please, we are begging you. Please, and we also want to sound a note of warning. Anyone that is caught that is vandalizing or stealing government property or property of private individual, we are going to hand him over to the security. We dissociate ourselves from any arrival or anything that will happen after now. We are not part of it. We are out for peaceful protest. We are law-abiding citizens of this country.
For Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, it was an occasion to connect with the people. He decided to go out and inspect the state of affairs and to encourage business owners and the Adamawa state community to come out and conduct their business without any fear. He also used the opportunity to inspect ongoing projects being undertaken by his administration. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri commended the residents for their maturity and understanding as he inspected ongoing projects in the state. As he toured the project sites, Governor Fintiri acknowledged the residents' restraint, saying it was a testament to their faith in his administration's effort to improve their lives. The calm atmosphere in Adamawa stands in stark contrast to the rest of the country, underscoring Governor Fintiri's effective leadership and the state's commitment to progress and development. For those protesting, Governor Fintiri had one advice for them. In exercising their right to protest, he urged them to do so within the bounds of the law. He, however, appealed to the protesters to work together with security agencies and the government to ensure that their protests remain peaceful and do not harm innocent citizens or their property. Governor Fintiri reassured that his government is committed to protecting the lives and property of all citizens, including those who choose to protest.
The citizens trust us, and we also trust them. So there will be no protest. And if this is replicated across the country, both by the federal government and the subnational, there will be no protest. This is not an NLC demand for increment of salary. They are protesting for hunger. They are protesting against poverty, which is as a result of the bad policy by this administration. Like I said that day, they need to look at these policies and rejiggle them so that it can serve the people better, because this is what we have taken the oath to do. Doing otherwise, it means we're anti-people, and we shouldn't be seen to be anti-people. We have said we are progressives, and in what manner and way are we progressives if we don't listen to the suffering of the masses? I address you this afternoon in respect of the nationwide protest embarked upon by the End Bad Governance protesters. This is day 4 of the protest in Adamawa State. We can safely say that our people have hearkened to our calls for calm and the situation is peaceful. Where there are pockets of protest, the protesters are in minority, who are conducting themselves in the most respectable civil manner, while pressing home their demands for good governance and better life for the citizens of Nigeria. Fellow citizens, even though the protest might be unpopular, especially with the way and manner it is carried out in some states across the country, the message is clear and the demands are genuine. None of us can deny the fact that there is no hunger and there is general poverty in the land. This has been made worse by the harsh economic realities, a deficit policy direction, and insensitivity of the national government to engage the citizens civilly. As leaders of the people, we must at all times not only listen but act. The lesson we must derive from the protest is the constant reminder that it is not enough to tell the citizens we have heard. Must be seen as doing the needful in providing solutions to citizens' concern. Fellow citizens, for the past 4 days of the protest regime, I have gone around, especially the state capital, and I can see the level of trust we have mutually developed. It is that trust that gave me the confidence to come out, move freely, and officially inspect ongoing projects in the state. I must thank you all for the show of support which has rekindled my resolve to do more and continue to serve you. I have seen love, I have equally seen genuine affection that knows no bound at the time when the situation is rancorous in other climes. Fellow citizens, who can feel your pain, who can relate with what you are passing through, but we also assure you that as your leaders, the best payback you deserve from us is an advocacy to any level and a leadership that can work around the clock, not only reverse the situation of your ugly realities, but restore the collective hope of our livelihood. Good governance is your right, and that is what we have all sworn to give you. That is what is our trademark in Adamawa State. As a government, we don't really need to protest you don't need to protest to remind us of this sacred responsibility. We are doing our best to cushion the effect of your hardship. We are particularly conscious of the disturbing youth bulge with a growing unemployment rate that is alarming. We saw this coming. At the inception of this government, we did a study on this, and our revelation was that no government can take all the army of the youths into its employment. Even if it can, in this age of enterprise, creativity, and entrepreneurship, it is the dumbest decision to take. We therefore created the Ministry of Entrepreneurship to build the capacity of our youth to innovate, own, and manage investment successfully. We have trained and are retraining many youths who are willing to be off the streets and creating enabling environment for SMEs to strive. Through the Fintiri business wallet, we have so far empowered more than 30,000 beneficiaries and have concluded the process of capturing another 10,000 beneficiaries. Payment will commence in this August. Through our ICT for Empowerment Corridor, we're training over 100,000 youths with the necessary skills for survival. With the disclosure on the new minimum wage settled, we intend to recruit more applicants into the service of the state. To cushion the effect of the transport hardship on the citizens, we have test run the intra and intercity mass transit system with our deployment of 10 luxurious buses and found it impactful. We are therefore scaling this up by deploying over 30 more buses to ply our roads. We are also going to allocate a substantial number of the buses to our schools to fix the hardship transportation void of our students. Fellow students, the only solution to hunger is take agriculture more seriously. In this direction, we have been very proactive by constituting a food security committee with a mandate to aggressively drive a youth to farm campaign. The committee is working around the clock to ensure every local government has a demonstration farm of minimum of 300 hectares, where our youths will be trained on modern agricultural practice with inputs freely provided. So far, we have received 35 trucks out of the 65 trucks of fertilizer allocated to us by the federal government. These fertilizers were procured by the CBN under MFLA. The state government has equally procured 69 more trucks. We have procured 123,381 kilograms of rice seed, 5,000 cartons of assorted herbicide, and other inputs. Very soon, we shall flag off the sales of this fertilizer and other inputs at a subsidized rate of 50% to intending farmers. The selling point is going to be at the ward level under a high-powered committee to ensure the last mile is reached. Fellow students, since our assumption, we have made education in our public schools free. For the past 5 years, we have equally taken up the responsibility of paying WAEC, NECO, and other examination fees for the students in public schools off the shoulders of the parents and guardians. This we shall continue to sustain. We are building 21 model primary and junior secondary schools across the state, one in each of the 21 local government areas. To offtake the product of these model schools, we have concluded the plan to build 3 senior science and technical mega schools, one in each of the senatorial zone. We are definitely achieving much success in our schools' enrollment drive to the admirations of our partners in the campaign. The past 5 years have seen us investing heavily in health sector. Our hospitals are now better off than they have been ever before. We built and made operational more cottage hospitals in all the local governments without secondary health facilities. Working with the local governments, we have made the primary health care facilities optimally functional with the right personnel and drugs. Fellow students, this is not the moment for stock taking, but it is definitely an opportunity to tell you what we have done and what we are doing for you, in as much as we do know that some of these things are better felt than told. It is our duty to engage you just as it is your right to know. We must not pretend that everything is right. We must also be able to tell you honestly what is within our current capacity as a subnational government. Some of the demands of the protesters, as genuine as they are microeconomic policies issues that can only be addressed by the national government. This is the reality of our federal structure and constitution. We shall work with you to make sure that the demands are attended to. The president is a listening president, and I believe he can equally hear us loud and clear. Fellow citizens, protest is a constitutional right of citizens and a wake-up call to the government. We thank you most sincerely for this call to duty. For those who came out to protest, I thank you for doing so within the bounds of the law. For those who did not come out, and indeed those who are in the majority, I thank you so much for sending your message louder than those who came out. There is so much we can achieve in an atmosphere of peace than we can in that of one of rancor and chaos. I must thank our traditional institution represented by our royal fathers for their support, counsel, and sensitization of the citizen on the prize value of peace. I thank our religious leaders, especially the leadership of the churches and mosques, for the ecclesiastical call to civil and peaceful coexistence. I thank our youth for using their exuberance productively. I must also thank the labor unions, trade unions, students' unions, and the civil society for their support in seeing reason as to why violent protest is the wrong antidote to our present situation. I must thank the parents, guardians, and caregivers in the state for training their children to resist the temptation of being used by merchants of violence to cause mayhem as found in some states across the country. Gentlemen of the press, I must thank you all for the lead role the media has played so far in the balanced reportage of the situation in Adamawa State. I must thank my team, especially the Deputy Governor and the entire cabinet and the leadership of our local government areas, whose major assignment as chief security officers of their respective local government has come to bear. This concerted effort at managing citizens' grievances and entrenching peace in our land. Above all, I must thank our greatest partners in the peace enterprise, the security agencies, the Army, the police, the DSS, the civil defense, and all other agencies who have not only played by the rules and is civil enough to manage the protesters where they exist, but gave us the larger majority, the assurance of security and peace to continue with our daily businesses. Once again, thank you for being civil. Thank you for the trust. This is the hallmark of every ideal democracy. God bless Adamawa State. God bless Nigeria.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri's leadership has once again proven to be a beacon of hope and stability in these trying times. His ability to connect with the people, encourage business owners, and inspect ongoing projects while maintaining law and order is a testament to his exceptional leadership skills, to his
The government have put a lot of things on ground for youth. The Fintiri business wallet, the 50% reduction in fertilizer, the provision for 300 hectares across the local governments in the state for youth to enable youth to farm, the reduction in transportation fare by 50% for the youth is something that one have to commend a leader for. And Fintiri have put all these things on ground. So you cannot experience this kind of problems facing other states in Adamawa State. We're happy with that.
His brokers have brought relative peace in Adamawa State. And then, as we are aware, when after the brokers, the state become calm. And then, because he faced the say what people want to hear, the reality. So the fact that there's hunger in the land, that we are trying to see how they can reduce poverty and hunger. I think that is what people want to hear. And then because he also identified himself with the people, with the suffering of the people in the land. And then that speech was more as a watershed that brought calm in Adamawa State. Couple what the government is actually doing in Adamawa State, then he have also bring peace to Adamawa State as we are aware, where we don't have much rioting and fighting as we have in other states of the country. Adamawa State have been peaceful. Even the protests have been peaceful. People are going about doing their normal businesses. Then this as a result of the governor. On the day of the protest, we can see the governor coming out personally to wave people, to identify with people. And then this is coming out actually brought peace to Adamawa State. Because he spoke a lot, he addressed the people, and people become so calm. And then they say, yes, one Namune, meaning that it's part of us. So that actually brought relative calm to people in Adamawa State. We here, we don't have no problem, although there was a little protest, but it was very calm. and the security men were up to their duty, and they were everywhere. This actually big campaign to Adamawa State. Couple what the poverty alleviation that the government have been doing have actually helped in reducing poverty in Adamawa State. The employment have been given, the road construction that people have been engaged now, they have been doing. You know, as you are aware that an idle mind is a devil workshop. The Adamawa State youth are not idle. The government have engaged them. That actually brought everything come to Adamawa State. We are happy that we have such a governor that listens to the people of Adamawa State. That hear the yearnings of people of Adamawa State. We are happy for that. And that's why there is camp in Adamawa State. And there will still be camp in Adamawa State. Camp in Adamawa State. And there will be